Welcome home to Tall Poppies. Today's guests are identical twins, Caleb and Andrew Richards, who are the founders of the music collaboration app Starving Artist. At the end of the interview, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we can follow up with you as soon as any updates come in with them, and also when we post the second half of the interview. Enjoy. Today's guests are identical twins, Caleb and Andrew Richards. Wow, what a story that these guys carry with them, and we're going to really have fun in our conversation with them today, visiting. So they come from being £1 12 ounces each premies to being these gob-smacking entrepreneurs who've just got the most incredible work ethic and have a brand new app called Starving Artist.
Yeah,
right. I'm wanting a t-shirt. So at the end of this, we will put down on the notes where you can actually access their website and also hopefully some of their amazing merchandise. So welcome, guys.
Thanks. Yeah, appreciate you bringing us on here.
Oh, love it. So want to know, you're musicians and your parents are musicians. So what are your first memories of music?
Gosh, probably back in like when we were, I don't know what, 3 or 4 piano lessons. Group piano lessons. Our dad is a music teacher, and so they started us way back taking group piano lessons when we were like 3 years old. That's probably the first. I remember sitting in like a living room with our piano teacher and all of the other students and running through our scales and that type of thing. So it started us young.
So Starving Artist is an app that connects initially musicians together, but it has longer range, and we'll go into that. So how many instruments do you play each?
Play?
Just you're functional at
5?
Probably 5
each.
Yeah. Did you didgeridoo?
We have one.
We've got one downstairs.
Oh, really? we could blow a note on it, but I wouldn't say we play it.
Our dad was teaching us circular breathing the other night, and he was practicing on the didgeridoo.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah. Fun.
Fun.
We'll have to put that in. What is Starving Artist? And what is Starving Artist, and where did you get the concept from?
Sure. So what it is, it's a location-based social networking app for music makers. Just makes it easy for music makers to find collaborators so they can finish their music. And the idea, is that the other part where we got it from? It's kind of funny. We were in Portland, Oregon, and we were knocking doors. We did some door-to-door sales out there. And at the time, we were wanting to find other musicians to collaborate with, but it was really hard. We had to rely on our word of mouth or our warm network, which wasn't very big in that area. And so we just figured there had to be an easier way to find other people to collab with. And our cousin showed us the dating app Tinder. We kind of had a light bulb moment. Thought, what if there was a Tinder for musicians where we could jump on, we could easily find those people by swiping and then hit them with a message, and we're in the same area, so we could link up and connect, collaborate.
Yeah, that's not as sorted as Tinder.
Yeah.
So is there a problem, or is it just not a problem? Is it a reality of musicians, just like with everybody else, that you just tend to know those that are close to you?
Yeah, pretty much. Like that's what we found, and after talking with a lot of our friends and other people in the industry, we found that like most people, they just have their warm network or their friend group, and outside of that, it's really hard to actually find other people that you can collaborate with, or you can just jam with, or you can just collaborate with. It's really difficult.
So this brings up two questions for me. One is, so would this be applicable to then producers, getting gigs, and then also the agents? So the agent's somewhat, insular too in finding new talent for labels? It seems like it's a problem for everybody that you're trying to address.
Yeah, on the front end, it's connecting musicians, solving that problem, allowing them to discover one another, to collaborate and create new music. And then on the back end, it actually solves the problem for the music business, because currently there's no easy way. If you're a talent scout, you're a music manager, you're a talent seeker, somebody who wants to find that talent, you have to go to shows, you have to go into a coffee shop and hear someone playing. Like, it's the same thing. It's all word of mouth. There's no easy way to discover that new talent and tap them. And so on the back end, that's kind of the vision. What things will grow into is it'll become the platform that connects the music business with the talent that they need.
So yeah, because those agents at this moment are probably sticking to the big areas, like LA,
LA,
you know,
London, the
so
bigger
they're staying there, and so they're missing out on potential raw talent that they could have access to. So are the people that use it, are they going to get rated by other musicians so that, you know, anyone could actually say, well, I need a second string violinist for this orchestra or piece that we're going to do for a movie. So then they can just do a search for, you know, 5-star and above.
Yeah, we'll have some, we're not sure exactly what it'll look like yet, but we will have some type of sorting algorithm. It'll probably be a combination of user ratings combined with maybe some of the bigger data, like how many streams they have, that type of thing. We'll put everything all into an algorithm to essentially just like rate the different talent. And so depending on what level you're at, you can actually connect with the talent that's at your same level, or there's someone you want to connect with, basically.
So it sounds like that your app is actually going to allow the market to direct where it needs to go to some extent.
It's going to be fluid. Yeah, we want to develop something that serves music makers at a level where they have the freedom to basically create their own path. Basically creating a new path for those music makers who have the talent, they have the passion to find a way to break through without having to necessarily go the one route, which typically it's been like get on the radio or sign with a major label or an independent label. And a lot of artists, they don't want to do that and don't need to do that. I feel like a lot of the best music is coming from a kid with a laptop and a pair of headphones in his bedroom producing music. And when you can connect that talent with the other raw talent, really what they need is they need that connection, and they need to collaborate and create a sound or create some unique music.
Imagine David Guetta with access to this. I mean, wouldn't it be so amazing? So so you can accommodate also those kids that do that mixing and wow, wouldn't that be? So you'd have the Starving Artist Awards.
Something down the line.
I can imagine. I can see that. And I love the logo.
Thanks.
So what's the story behind the logo?
Well, as you can see, it's the treble clef, so it represents music. And then when you look closer, that piece is a chain signifying connection, so connecting artists. And then this bottom half is a location pin, so connecting artists per location to make music.
Monument, right?
Yep.
That is who did that?
It was some guy off
99 Designs. We had a competition and had a bunch of designs come in. Picked this one.
It's fantastic. I love it.
Thank you.
It also looks like a halo when it's above the
Yeah, it does.
So when are you launching? Do you know where are you now, and what do you? So.
Yeah, we're at a really exciting crossroads. Essentially, we have the front end of the app developed, and what we're doing right now is we're raising a pre-seed funding round so that we can build the back end of the app, attract our team, and then the goal is to be beta launched in beta testing within the next 3 to 4 months.
Excellent. So you've got the wireframes already for the initial.
We have the wireframes and the actual front end. All the code is developed and everything.
And how did you do that? What was the process of getting that done? You know, was that bootstrapping? Did you fund it yourself? Who were the resources that helped you do the front end?
Yeah, it was kind of a mixture of both. We put in about 20 grand to kind of validate the market. We went through a process with this company called Neon Roots based out of LA. And they did a bunch of market research and
helped us refine our minimum viable product. So take the idea out of our head, map out, do the wireframes, figure out exactly what we would need for just that minimum product. And then, we went through that process, and then we ended up raising 40 grand from family and friends in order to build the front end of the app. And that's essentially the process we took so far.
So, friends and family want their money back.
Yeah.
So, how are you going to monetize this? And I think the merchandising of your branding there is going to be really popular. So how are you initially thinking of monetizing the app and the platform and your brand?
Primarily, it'll be off of the freemium revenue model up front. So that's for the artist level. It'll be free to use, and then they can pay like $5 or $10 a month for additional features or additional perks.
Like what?
So we're a big fan of the lean startup methodology, which is like starting with the minimum viable product and then letting the market just decide what they want and tell us what they need and want. And so we're really big on following that path. And so essentially we'll just build whatever people tell us they need or would find valuable. Then on the back end, it'll be a software as a service. So if you're a talent scout, for instance, you would pay maybe $50 a month or $100 a month to use the platform to find the talent that you need, whether that was to sign somebody or to find like a session strings violinist to come in and record their strings for a backup track or that type of thing. So you could just find the talent that you need, pay a premium every month for that.
One idea could be having a button where you can click it and you become discoverable by the music business, and you might have to be a paying user to be on their map.
So if you're serious, it could be a sorting tool.
Because you're creating value.
Yeah.
You are creating value.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So then you have to go out and then start connecting with those executives and agents within the music industry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah. I'm excited.
But you are creating value for both sides.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's going to be really interesting to see that. Yeah. How are you going to measure? I'm really curious about how you can, because I know that this is going to be really exciting and people are going to start utilizing it. Yeah. How are you going to measure your effect?
We haven't decided what metric we're going to use to be like our North Star of like whether we're succeeding or not yet. I'm thinking it'll probably have something to do with like collaboration. So maybe the number of collaborations you're able to put out, or maybe it's a certain amount of plays you're able to get through a collaboration. We're not sure yet.
Yeah.
But it'll center around like our mission is to drive connection, collaboration between emerging artists, because that's when we believe when talent finds talent, that's when the best new music and artists will come to life. And so having some metric that relates to that mission, I think is really important.
Yeah, I think so too, because then the very few things verify you as much as the data behind it.
Yeah.
And it might be that it's part of the permission of using your app that they let you know if something has come about, like that they've actually signed on someone, because as you know, sometimes they could sign on an artist and you don't hear from the artist for 2 years while they're in the recording studio. Yes.
Yeah, on the music business side. Was that what you were asking?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question. We'll have to figure that out as we go.
Yeah, and have you thought about other methods of monetizing, like funneling? You'd probably be, I can imagine many industries and companies and businesses related to music, including equipment,
Oh yeah.
venues, let alone the recording labels,
right,
wanting access, and just even shoe companies or fashion wanting to have access on a funneling level to all the people that are using the site of your app. Have you thought of monetizing those in a funneling way?
We've talked about, there's a lot of follow-on revenue models. You could do advertising, you could do affiliate type sales, connecting a brand that has, let's say, a mic to singers that need to buy the mic and make an affiliate. There's a lot of follow-on revenue models, but our main focus is going to be on the freemium and the SaaS platform on the back end.
Right.
As we go, we'll probably implement some of the follow-on revenue.
And then you've got
models
advertising too.
Yeah.
Your potential advertising.
Yeah.
So you brought up the concept, which is connecting collaboration. Is that something that a term that you guys created, or is it a term that's out there?
It's just kind of what stuck out to us the most in when we were talking, what we wanted. And the last couple of weeks, I've done interviews with different musicians these are like mid-level musicians, and they're down in LA most of the time. And most of them, they're wanting the same thing. all these people with the talent and the ability to make that what they do with their life. They really want that connection. They want their tribe, and then they also want to collaborate because they feel like that's when they can push past their creative barriers. They can create new sounds. They can do some cool things. And so it's something that I feel like other people want, and it's out there, but that's just something that's kind of stuck out to us from the very beginning.
So it's a term that you could almost market itself too, if you guys came up with that term.
Creative collaboration.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Because I'd not heard it before.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
So that's that you've got a subset there of a marketing platform too, and also a ideology.
Yeah.
Which so how I'd love to. That's it sounds like what musicians do and artists do. So. Can you explain a little bit more about this collaborative connecting?
Yeah.
Connecting, collaborative.
I think with anything, especially being a creative, like that's where all the juice is. That's where the magic is unlocked. Like, just if you look at an example, like look at Macklemore and his producer Ryan Lewis. Like they both had skill sets that were valuable on their own, but they also had a weakness. Like Ryan Lewis, he didn't rap. Macklemore, he didn't produce, and so it was a perfect fit for them to come together and collaborate, because now they unlock, it's like the combination code. You spin all the numbers, get them in the right order, and you unlock that value, and now look at them. Like
the whole is bigger than the two separate numbers together,
right. So
Yeah.
I think that's just the general idea behind what we see is just, even with our own friends and our own network, we see so many of our peers that are extremely talented, but they're lacking maybe writing lyrics, or they don't know how to record themselves. Like they're lacking a skill set that somebody else in their area can complement them with. And so I think that's really what it all comes back to.
Yeah, and it's really painful to see a lot of those friends who have everything it takes give up, or they doubt their potential because they feel disconnected and they get discouraged. And so that's another driver, is it ties in really deeply. I feel like people, if that's what they can bring to the world, it's their duty to bring that to the world and make change through that. And that's something that is super deep with us, is influencing positively, influencing culture. And so I feel like that's one way that we can do it, by building a community where other people share that same belief. We could do that way bigger than we could just do on our own. That's also kind of why we started it.
So it sounds like you're saying that this could also provide a platform of inspiration and also encouragement. So that if you see other people out there who aren't perfect, but are still having a go at it, that it will inspire people to sort of keep at it.
Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately when you're an artist that has talent, and then you see other artists on the platform leveraging that talent, being successful, however they define that, I think it would be really motivating, especially if you have that talent and the desire deep down to do something with it.
Now, I think this is fantastic, and I'm sure for everybody that's out there listening, you're probably thinking of all these different potentials of this platform. Are you considering, or is there a need for your platform to provide almost like an in-house digital recording studio or platform in itself, to allow not just local artists to collaborate and produce on, but if you're here in the US and you've got someone in Japan or Europe that wants to, you want to work together, but you are so far apart, could you provide in the future a platform where people could actually connect, produce, record their music digitally?
Yeah, probably. A solution that we've thought of that would be really simple would be, say a producer like us, we've invested thousands of dollars into our studio, our equipment, and we know how to record and do all those different things, how to utilize that equipment. If there was somebody, say in Japan, and we wanted to collaborate with them, they didn't have the equipment to record themselves, they didn't have the knowledge how to do it, and they didn't have the money to go to a big fancy recording studio because it costs a lot of money, they could just hire somebody, a vetted producer in their area on our platform for maybe 1/10 of the cost to get the same end result. So hook up with that producer, pay them as a service, they record their vocals, they send it to us, and It's a service that's really specific. It lines up with our mission of driving collaboration, because that's a direct barrier to collaboration for some people.
Yes.
And so
No,
I think,
as you said, the connecting to the resources.
yeah.
I mean, you guys could actually be the nexus of creating worldwide bands where each member is in a totally different location,
Yeah.
producing really awesome music.
Yeah.
And there are services out there. They're basically platforms where they allow different musicians to connect through their platform and create at the same time, even if they're across the world. And so I could see us partnering with those platforms, because a lot of them, they've put in everything it takes to develop that. And so we wouldn't really need to reinvent that wheel. We could just partner with people strategically too.
So I want you to share with everyone. I know you have the most amazing work ethic, and if you were my sons, I would just be like so proud of you.
Thanks.
But you really show tenacity, you show grit, and I want you to share your stories of that direct sales experiences that you've had, which, you know, most people would be totally daunted by.
Yeah.
So you started out, you're at uni, and then you...
Yeah. So we graduated high school. Parents were teachers, so we got good grades, got scholarships, went off to school, didn't like it, decided that we wanted to pursue music full time. And so we ended up dropping out after 3 semesters to figure out how to create our own path and make it in music. What that ended up looking like was we ended up getting into door-to-door sales. And we did that for 4 months of the year. So the other 8 months of the year we could spend working on our music full time. And so the last 4 years we were doing door-to-door sales, traveling the country, leading sales teams. And
you were young. You
were,
were how old? 19 leading
Mm-hmm.
sales teams.
Yeah, it was quite the experience. Coming from when we grew up, we were the most antisocial, like introverted, shy little kids. And so going from that to then being forced to go out there and knock on doors, meet new people every day, not only just meet them and have an easy conversation, but actually influence them on the spot, help them make a buying decision. It was really powerful in teaching us a lot of those soft skills, influence, and then all the personal stuff too, the discipline, the work ethic, the mindset, a lot of the things that now we're carrying over into our entrepreneurial career. All of those came directly from our experience. We like to say it's the school of hard knocks, literally.
Yes.
So it was super valuable for us.
Creating the relationship with your customers and opening a relationship, not closing a deal. What did you learn from developing those skills, bringing forward to what you're doing now?
That's a really good question.
That is a great question. I would say one of the big takeaways is just trust and rapport. In order to make any deal happen, I mean, really at the end of the day, it's just a relationship, and that comes down to trust. Like, do you know this person? Do you trust them? Really, if you don't have that, then nothing else is going to work. And so it was the same thing on the doors. You had to rapidly get that person to know you, like you, and trust you. And that's the same mindset we have now, especially with the serving musicians. We're going to really work hard to get out there and gain the market's trust, gain their build rapport, because we're artists. We know exactly where they're at. We know exactly what they want to do. Like, they have all this talent inside them. And so it's really about bonding with that and showing them that we're the same and that they can trust us to help bring them where they want to be.
So with trust, in a short term, just almost trying to create that immediate rapport.
Yeah.
Do you think it comes from a place of authenticity?
Yeah, I do. I think it has to. I think it has to.
It's that energy. Yeah. Because if you don't have it, there's just all those little meta messages that say, there's something a bit dodgy about that person.
Yeah, your metaverbals, meta communication, all that it speaks way louder than your words. So have to be authentic.
So what is your goal for just some of your visions that you think of about, well, I think that this is where I could take someone in the future. Do you have any of those visions about, this is how I'd love to sort of see that we've done X in the future? What would that sound like, look like?
Yeah.
I would say our vision at the moment is a worldwide community of artists making a full-time living from their art while driving culture forward.
Yeah, what it comes down to is there's all this talent out there, but I feel like currently there's a disconnect. Either kind of like how with college, it gives you a path to go from where you are now, graduating high school, to then being successful. It's like the path, or that's how society's positioned it. There's no real path for artists. Like, what do? You get signed to a big label if you're really good and lucky and all the stars align, or you're hustling, working 3 jobs, and then you eventually burn out and quit. Like, what's the third path? And so we want to create that third path where if you have the talent, we're going to help provide the ecosystem, the connections, the resources, the funding, anything that you need in order to really pursue that path and bring your gift to the world, and like he said, living with it, make an impact.
So you're saying funding.
Mm-hmm.
So in the future, there's a potential that if someone or a group really attracts attention, that it also could be a platform for people to fund artists to develop.
Could be.
We've kind of talked about it, about where the industry is going, and we think that the industry is moving towards streaming. There's major streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and I think it would be really cool down the road in terms of funding if we could partner with them and have them directly be able to sign the talent out of our platform. Because typically with a major label or one of the big independents, when an artist gets signed, they get a big pay of advance money, like 50 to 250 grand, sometimes more, sometimes less. And then basically they use that money, they live, they create their music, but they give up a huge chunk of their future earnings to that label. And so by partnering directly with one of the streaming platforms, I feel like we could set up a win-win deal where the streaming platform, they get more of their money because they pay most of it to the big record labels.
Right.
Yeah.
And the artist could get more money. And then setting it up in a way where they go through this process, and if they make a hit song that gets 10 million plays in a month or whatever the qualifier would be, then they could get a monthly stipend. It could start kind of small, maybe $2,500 or $3,000. So they could live month to month and focus on their music without having to work a job or focus on anything else.
So they're really not. It's a form of liberating artists in a true free market system where they're having to work.
Yep.
They've still got to create, but it's more authentically their ownership.
What they want.
It's
So
a
you're
line.
actually creating this is
Another path. Yeah.
yeah.
At the end of the day, like when we've talked with artists, they don't they want to blow up. Yeah, they want to travel the world. They want to do all those things. But ultimately what it comes down to is they just want to make enough money through their art that they don't have to work a job, or they can just focus all their time and effort into it.
It is their job. It's
It
a
is their
career that
job.
they're creating.
Yeah.
So in some ways your app platform is creating more luck, potentially. They've still got to do the work.
Yeah.
But it's giving them more face time or a greater surface area
Yeah.
Yep.
for connecting to success.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Who have been some of your mentors so far? Have you had any of the blessings of having a good mentor or two?
We've been super blessed. We just got back from an apprenticeship with a mentor named Gerard Adams. He built and sold a company called Elite Daily for $50 million to the Daily Mail in 2015. And so we went out to New Jersey, worked with him in his new startup. He was mentoring us and just giving us a lot of really good direction and guidance, personally as leaders, but also moving into the future for our company. And so that's been extremely valuable.
And that's very gracious of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a busy time, and so he's bringing you in, and that's a huge compliment to you too. So how do you find you?
So he put out this competition through his social media called the Millennial Apprentice Competition, and we filmed a video, we sent it to him, and we were one of 2,000 submissions. I think there was a lot. He has a big following, and connected really well, and he decided to fly us out. We were 2 of 6 that flew out there, lived out there. We were living in the founder's house. They had a house where everyone lived. We were on bunk beds in a bedroom with 1 bathroom, and it was awesome.
Did they film it? Because this would be a great reality TV show.
They did. I think they're working on editing it still. I'm not sure.
Awesome. Yeah. So they are. Okay, great.
Yeah, they were going to put it into a show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you wear your T-shirts?
We didn't have these yet.
Yeah, these are new.
Unfortunately, we should have.
Darn. Product placement.
Yeah.
Right.
Then hopefully there's going to be a second round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be.
So, what are you? So you starving artist. You're the design innovators, platform innovators, concept. You're having help for the programming.
Yeah.
Who's helping you with that?
We worked with an agency out of LA called Neon Roots.
Oh, right. So yeah, but you don't have. Are you still connecting with them?
We might end up using them to build the back end of the app, but long term, what we're looking for is more of a tech talent to join our team. Looking for probably 3 different devs at the beginning so they can code the back end of the app.
Right.
And then eventually a CTO and growing that side, because that is not our strengths at all. And so, yeah, we really are looking for the tech side of the team and the business to really, that's kind of our next priority, getting funding, getting that team going.
Thank you for watching the video. I know that you're excited and following these people. Hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And we look forward to hearing from you and seeing you in your journey too.